and we'll let you straight into questions.
Greg, as much as I like the scoring from Raheem and Dee, is it fair to say, I was looking at the stat sheet, Whitney, Sydney, and Sherry, I think played 91 minutes combined. I think they had 4 turnovers combined.
Yeah, Whit had 3, Sherry had 1, and Sid Bop had 0.
Forgive me for asking the obvious question. How pleased are you with that?
No, that's been a focus of practice probably for the last 3 weeks probably. Defense and taking care of the ball. I feel like we have a lot of players that can score. And we have an ability to we worked early in the season, and I told you guys our offense was ahead of our defense, and we were trying to really get out and get some transition baskets. So I felt like that was a strength of ours. But our defense was not strong, and we turned the ball over. And so that's something that the kids have been focused on. They worked on it. They know what's kind of beating us. And so I was real proud of at halftime. And really, you talk about Whit and Sydney Bop and Sherry taking care of the ball, but even more importantly, Raneem El-Jadaway took care of the ball in the first half, and that was critical because there's been several games where she's gotten frustrated, the team gets frustrated, I get frustrated when she's turning the ball over either from walking or 3 seconds, and so tonight she was just real patient with the ball, I felt like.
Is that the defensive effort overall tonight that you were looking for?
Well, I think the effort has been good. I think tonight was the execution. I felt like the intensity was good, the effort was good, the communication on the floor was way better than it's been. They were really talking to each other and fixing problems on the court, and so that's just playing defense together. It's team defense, and so I felt like the biggest reason we played better defense was because we were working together, we were talking. The effort's been good, but the execution was way better for 3.5 quarters tonight.
Did you feel that they were able to feed off of that intensity a little bit in that execution?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they got confidence from their ability to make the other team. Charlotte's a good team. I mentioned before, and I think they're one of the better teams in our conference. I think that they might be being overlooked or maybe underplayed a little bit because they've got maybe the best point guard in the conference in Raventos, and they've got little number 3, I forget her name, but she's a great 3-point shooter, and that's a really good team and very well coached. So that's a good win for our kids. But I think it built our confidence in our players, finding the ability to make shots difficult and end the possession. We still didn't do as good of a job as we need to do on our defensive boards. They got a lot of offensive rebounds, but the effort's better, the focus is better, and that's something else that we'll continue to get better at.
How do you feel about some of the bench players coming up and stepping up in Alexis Brewer's absence tonight?
Well, again, Sydney Bob's this isn't her first ball game. And so it was good. It's funny, before the game, before our first practice this week, I pulled Sid over and I said, Sid, I watched our game against Charlotte last year. It's the first game film from last season that I've watched in preparation for a game for this year. I said, but you need to watch that. There's some kid on that team I think you could play a lot like. She wears number 3, so you just need to go watch that game film and see who she is and see if you can play a little bit like her. And so she went and watched the film, and I think she saw that she was playing with a lot more passion, a lot more energy, enthusiasm, and confidence. And so it was good to see her back to herself tonight.
Is the thing with Sid just sort of been coming back from that cut that she got? What has it been the past couple of games to get her back into a rhythm with some confidence and established back in the squad? She's had some illness. She was out. She didn't even leave her apartment for about 3 days. Early in the season, she had some rib, chest injury from taking a charge. So it was great tonight to see her take another charge. And so she just kind of worked. And then we played some pretty tough teams, some long teams that made it difficult for her to be quite as effective. And so it was great to see her tonight just get to play and be confident. And she really played I felt like a pretty flawless game, except for the one bad pass that she threw to Merrill across half court there. So other than that, I thought she played really, really well. She's established herself here as a 3-point shooter. She has, 4 assists, 7 rebounds, and she comes in and says, if Raneem and Dee can score, then why do I have to score? Just to see that mentality change, I guess, with her. Have you seen a change that mentality, or is it just her noticing when other people are really feeling it?
Well, it's something that Sid has been working for a couple of years now. She's played a lot of basketball on her own. She's worked a lot on her own to get to be just a more complete player. And that's something that I challenged her at the beginning of the year. I said, you don't want to go out and just be known as you're a spot-up three-point shooter. You don't want to play in games just when we need a spot-up three-point shooter. I said, you're a basketball player. And so, and that's something she showed at the beginning of the year, before she took the charge, had the rib injury, before she got sick and couldn't leave her apartment. She was showing that in practice every day. And then she just had these setbacks. And so it's good that she's healthy and back on the floor and feeling confident. And so, it just makes our team stronger.
Greg, the players were just in here saying at halftime, part of your message was, play like the score is 0-0. And you win by 18. I know there's a lot of things you like, but that stretch to start the third quarter, were you especially happy with that?
I was pleased with 3.5 quarters. And actually heading into the fourth quarter is when I talked to them, because that's when teams tend to get, with a lead like that, they tend to get sloppy. And we were fighting to prevent that from happening. We didn't do a good job down the end, and that's something we'll watch. And I talked to him about it. I told him I was very, very pleased with our execution, our effort, our focus, and that's a really good team that we beat tonight. But that we couldn't have those lapses in any game, and regardless of the score. And so we'll watch that part of the film, as well as some of the good parts of the film tomorrow, and try to make sure we clean that up.
What does that do to start this second half of this season, 1-0 conference play, just to get that out of the way to get things rolling?
Well, I think it gives you a chance to catch your breath, because if you feel like you're starting off with a team like Charlotte, which is, like I said, is really good, for a moment, and then we got to turn around and get ready for Old Dominion, which may be the hottest team in our conference right now, playing with a lot of confidence, and got some young players that are really hungry. And so, we'll enjoy this one for about another 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll go watch film and get ready for Old Dominion.
Was Aram Yang dealing with an injury or anything tonight? She only played 2 minutes.
She tweaked her knee in practice a couple days ago. It aggravated her a little bit more today, and then when we're playing, it takes her a little while to warm it up. And so I never really felt like I could just pull her off the bench and put her in the game and she wouldn't be ready. So I tried to get her to warm up down there and get in play, but it was hard for her to get in the flow. Ram's getting better every day in practice. This was not a good example or indication of where she is. She's going to be an impact player for this team.
Greg, I did, and forgive me, I couldn't be there yesterday. I wanted to ask one question about Lex, only because I was watching her on the bench, and she was just like she was an unofficial coach. And, I guess from the player's perspective, I could tell she was trying to play through that and her toughness for so many games. What do you think her level of respect is from her teammates with how much she was trying to play through that? And not only that, played pretty good, too.
Well, they all respect what she brings to the team, and so they listen to Alexis. And I had challenged Alexis actually before we got to this point where she had to sit out. Said worst case scenario, you knock on wood, hoping that it wouldn't happen, but it actually happened where you would miss a game or a couple games. Need you to still be the best leader that you can be, the best player coach that you can be. And so Alexis just took that role on, and it helps build confidence in younger players. It helps our team be stronger together, and I expect that when she gets back and feels better, that we'll be even better than we were before.
Anything else, Coach?
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.